Hello everyone, it's your girl Shakeen Lane, aka Shax, and I am the CEO and founder of Lane's Apparel, which is a custom-made clothing line. I am also the CEO and founder of Lane's Cosmetics, which is an all-natural skincare and hair care cosmetic line. Now, I made sure to highlight that first because today's video is gonna be why I left my job and challenges faced after leaving my job. So, I left my job in February of this year, which is 2022. Before leaving my job, I had planned in February that I was gonna leave the job, but I was supposed to leave the job until March. However, I ended up leaving in February because of a few circumstances which I do not care to share. Ever since leaving my job, I faced some challenges both in the business world and in my personal life, and I have overcome many of those challenges. I am overcoming some of them, and there are some challenges that I still need to work on. I'm willing to put in the work. I've already started putting in the work in many of those areas, and I'm already seeing results of that. So today I am here to share some of the challenges that I have faced ever since I left my job to focus on my businesses, and I hope that this video is going to give you motivation just in case you also have your own business or you are planning to start your business. So after leaving my job, the first major issue I had is that I really did not have much business knowledge. Now, the cosmetic business was started a year ago. So I started my cosmetic business in 2021, January, but I still did not have a lot of business knowledge. After leaving my business, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna be running my businesses full time. The first thing I did, I started reading up and listening to YouTube videos to acquire the necessary business knowledge because I knew that I had no business knowledge. I did not do business in school. The only thing that I knew would have been from books that I have read. So I started doing my reading to gain some business knowledge. One of the major challenges that I faced was money management. That was the major challenge after leaving my job to focus on my businesses. Coming up to this, I did not know how to save. I did not know how to separate my money. Actually, I learned how to separate your money about a month ago. That's when I learned that. And I've been working with myself for a little over 6 months right now, because I left my job in February. It is now September, so like 7 months I've been working with myself, and I learned that a month ago because I did not know how to separate the money. I didn't know what to put to save, so I would put the bulk of the money to save, and then I would end up having to go back into it until eventually I had no money. Another challenge that I faced was that I was a little too lenient with people. So for my fashion business, I would have persons come, I would do clothing for them, and then they would pick it up, not have all the money, and I'd be like, okay, no biggie, you can just pay me when you get it. I understand how things go. And then I would wait for weeks and sometimes months, and some persons still have not paid me up to this point. And some persons I just said, you know what, just keep it, because I was constantly running behind them, and I learned from that when you have your business, you need to be very careful and very mindful of who you allow to take your products and services without paying, because you cannot trust everyone. Another challenge that I faced was that would be in the personal aspect. I faced a lot of challenges because I had no inner peace. I did not have self-love. I had self-confidence, but it was an occasional thing. So like for periods of time I would be confident, and then for other periods I would be really down on myself. So it was fluctuating a lot. One time it was up, one time it was down. It was like a roller coaster. So I had to get to that point where I got peace within myself. It was not an easy task, and it took me over a year, but I would not have traded that transformation, and even now I would not trade that transformation for anything, because that was one of the best transformations that I have encountered ever since I've been alive. I must say that it has been one of the best things to ever happen to me. That whole transformation where I lost that person that was trying to please everybody, and I found my true self. I love myself, I enhance myself, I don't try to prove anything to anyone, and I have that inner peace, and I would not trade that for anything. The other thing I had to develop was discipline. Now I'm still working on my discipline, because sometimes I'm very stubborn, and sometimes I don't even listen to myself. So I am still working on my discipline. I've been doing much better than before, because now I let myself know the importance of everything that I am doing. So I'm sure to give the time to things that deserves the time, because I'm working and I'm elevating myself, and there's so much that I'm working towards accomplishing, and there's so much that I am about to accomplish. So I cannot be dilly-dallying around the place and wasting time. It's time for me to be serious. So I've been working on that. I've been doing a very, very great job. I had a whole change in my routine, basically, in my daily routine. So I am very much happy, and that was one of the changes I had to make. So I had to develop discipline, and then I created a whole routine. So now I get to spend more time with myself on a daily basis, and I still get enough time to put in work, and I can even overwork if I choose to, but I have limits, so I do not overwork. I'm not competing with anybody. The only person I'm competing with is myself. So as I set aside a certain amount of time, and I work within that time frame. If there's need for me to go over for any reason, I do that. But having discipline means that when it's time to work, it's time to work, and when it's time to relax, it's time to relax. Having discipline is not just to get yourself to do work. It's also to get yourself to relax, and it's to get yourself to do things that might not seem like a big deal until you miss those things, and then you realize how much of a big deal it was when you were doing it. So I'm very much heavy on my discipline. I work when I have to work, I sleep when I have to sleep, and I relax when I have to relax, because in your life there needs to be a balance. If it's just work, 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 you are going to burn out, and then you're going to crash, and then you're going to have to start all over again. If it's play, 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 you're not going to get anything done, and then you'll have to start over again. So there needs to be a balance. You need to be able to relax as much as you need to be able to work, and I have that balance, and I am super, super happy for that. So I have my routine, and I follow through with that, and I have been doing a great job. Now another challenge that I faced was having to say no to certain things, because after going through this transformation, I realized that certain things I was not vibing with anymore. So there are some things that I've desist from doing. There are some things that I said I was gonna desist from doing, but then I kept doing it because of the people that I still had in my circle. And actually last night, I decided that I will no longer be doing anything that I don't want to do to please anybody in any circle, because that's not for me. If it's not benefiting me, I'm not gonna do it. And that's one of the things that I had to learn, is that sometimes you need to be harsh on yourself, and you need to understand that in order for you to get done with bad habits, you actually need to stop the bad habits, which means you will have to deprive yourself of those things that were once fun to you, because bad habits, they're pretty much fun. You will have to deprive yourself of those things that were once fun to you, and you'll have to focus on things that are not so fun in the beginning, but they are necessary for your growth and your development. And another challenge that I faced when it comes to business. So I don't really think this is much of a challenge, but I think it still is. That's kind of confusing, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it, because there might be someone else that's in the same position with me, and you might just need the motivation as much as I needed the motivation back then. So after leaving my job, the major challenge I had was that I was constantly told by the people around me that I should go get a job. So my family, they were like, oh, you should go get a job, you should go get a job, you should go get a job, and just do this on the side, you could just do this on the side. And the truth is, at this point, my business is small, but eventually my business is gonna be so big. And trust me when I say it's gonna be so big, because I'm already putting in the work to get it to that level. So my business is gonna be so big. They just saw the smaller picture, but I saw the bigger picture. And this is one thing you need to know, and this is one thing you need to be confident in. Whenever you're about to start a business, unless it's a business for temporary gains, as long as you're going to start a business that you would like to be a big business, you need to understand that when people are not able to see that bigger picture, you need to be the only one that can see that bigger picture. And you need to be the one to push yourself to achieve bigger things. Because if you're from a family where there's not maybe an entrepreneur, or even if there is, it's not to that big level, you need to understand that because people haven't seen it before, it's gonna be hard for them to accept it. So you need to be confident in yourself, and you need to be determined enough to push yourself to achieve what it is that persons think you can't achieve. Because when I first started, everybody was like, you should just go get a job and do this on the side, you should go get a job and do this on the side. And I was trying to explain to everybody, like, this is gonna be bigger, like it's really gonna be bigger. And now that I am moving up and they are now seeing results, they're like, oh, like, I'm really proud of you, and that's what you're gonna get. You need to understand that. And you need to understand, it's not, some people are gonna hate you, but it's not really that people hate you, it's just that they have never seen it done before. So to them, it's impossible for you to achieve it. But you need to be confident enough in yourself and in your abilities to continue pushing. And that was one of the major challenges that I had to face, because to sit and to tell your family that I do not want to go get another job because I'm working on my business and my business is gonna blow up, is not that easy to do. But the thing with me, I did say that, but then I still went ahead and applied for jobs and nobody called me. Beautiful. And that was a whole blessing in disguise. So eventually you're gonna get to the point and you're gonna start seeing results, and everybody around you, they're gonna be super proud that you actually did what you did. Because now I get compliments from my family members, and they're like, oh, you're doing great, and they're like, we're really proud of you, just keep pushing, it's gonna work, your business is gonna blow, you're going places. So just be confident in yourself. And let me see, out of all the challenges I faced, I think the most difficult challenge was pushing through, like on those days where nothing was really going on. And that's one thing you need to understand. If it is that you're contemplating to quit your job to start your business, one thing I would advise you to do is to ensure that you have a really large client base, that maybe now you're having clients maybe every day or every other day, or even if you're having maybe one client a week, ensure that you're making enough money to sustain yourself for about 2 to 3 weeks. Because what's gonna happen when you leave your job to focus on your business, you're gonna have some down days, you're gonna have some down weeks, maybe a down month where you're not really gonna be making much. So you need to be prepared for those times, especially if you have no one to fall back on. You need to be prepared for those times, because when those times come, it's gonna be the defining factor as to whether you continue working on your business, or if you're gonna give up to go have a normal job, just because you're sure of the amount of money you're gonna be making at the end of the month. So if it is that you're contemplating on leaving your job to start your business, just ensure that you have certain things in place, ensure that you have some savings, ensure that you do your reading on business before you leave your job. Read up on your type of business, read up on the marketplace, read up on the niche, understand what's trending, see what it is that you have to offer. You need to know what's different about your product or your service compared to what is out there, and you need to be able to sell yourself, because if you're not able to sell yourself, it's a done deal for you, because other persons, they might not have as good a product or a service as yours, but just because they can sell themselves, they're gonna get ahead and you're not going to. So you need to learn how to sell yourself. You need to understand certain things. Just do your reading. If you would like for me to tell you what areas to read in, feel free to comment down below, and I can go ahead and make a whole video on that because it's gonna kind of be a lot. So do your reading, ensure that you're confident in yourself, and if it is that you do intend on leaving your job, or if it's just that you're ready to start a business, you need to start working on your routine, your daily routine. You might have to change up some things, wake up a little bit more early, or go to bed a little more late, just so that you can get in some reading, get some work in, prepare yourself for what you're about to step into. And for those of you who are contemplating leaving your job, then just ensure that you have your savings. As I said before, you need to have things to brace you just in case everything don't go as planned. And please understand that a lot of times you're not gonna have a lot of money, not because you're not making money, but it's because as you make money, you need to reinvest into your business, and that can leave you deprived of a lot of things. You need to be prepared for that, and you need to know that better days are yet to come, and eventually you're gonna be able to have all the beautiful things that you so desire. So I think that is it for this video. I honestly feel as though I've covered everything. I covered when I left my job. I didn't say why I left my job because I don't think that's important. And then I covered the challenges that I faced. For those that might be all over, let me just run over those once more. So the challenges that I faced financial challenges by not knowing how to save and how to manage my money, and by giving persons work without collecting my money, and that has caused me to encounter losses. And then I face personal challenges whereby my self-love, it was non-existent. My self-confidence, it was like a roller coaster. One time it's up, next time it's down, and then I lacked inner peace. So those were the personal challenges that I encountered. And then I also encountered the challenge of my family members telling me, well, you should just go get a regular job, because they were not able to see the bigger picture. Until now, they're seeing proof of the work, and they're seeing that other persons are really interested, and they're seeing that I'm about to go places. So now they're in full support. So once again, just remember, if you have family members that are not supporting you, that's pretty much okay. You just need to believe in yourself, and you need to be determined, and you need to push, because you know what it is that you see. And like Mr. Steve Harvey rightfully said, the reason why other people can't see your vision is because it's your vision. The reason they can't see your dream is because that's your dream. It's not theirs to see, it's yours to see. So you go after your dreams, put your best foot forward, believe in yourself, be patient with yourself, understand that a lot of the things that you are about to, I should say, encounter, they're gonna be new to you. So there's times when you're gonna mess up, and then you're gonna have to start over. Just be patient with yourself, love yourself, and be kind to yourself. Be the nicest person to you that there is out there, because at this particular point and time, it's gonna be very much essential, especially if you are now starting your business. And better yet, if you intend on leaving your job, you need to be very patient with yourself, and you need to understand there are gonna be down days as well as up days. And in the up days, ensure that you save for the down days, and just know that at the beginning, a lot of money is gonna have to be reinvested into the business. So prepare for that, and just know that you've got this under control. You are a star, and the reason why you were given that vision is so that you can see it into physical existence, I should say. The reason you had that vision is so that you can see it in front of you. So do the work that is necessary for you to be able to see your vision in front of you. So thank you very much for taking time to stop by and to look at this video, and feel free to share this video with a friend or family member that may need the encouragement. You can leave a thumbs up if you like this video, leave a thumbs down if you did not, and feel free to leave a comment down at the bottom to let me know that you made it all the way to the end. Thank you very much for your time, and stay safe.